Hello class, how are you doing? So following our quest for web of significance and understanding symbolic anthropology and interpretive turn, we are going for another scholar, Victor Turner. Alright. So Victor Turner focused on ritual and symbols in action, and the interpretation of symbols is in itself. But there are some key differences from Mary Douglas that we'll learn pretty soon. So, like Mary Douglas, Victor Turner was influenced by structural functionalism and believed that symbolic system produced social cohesion, although he went much further in developing a more formal methodology of interpretation. Because one of the key challenges for the symbolic anthropologists all over the world was developing a accountable systematic methodology to provide and prove that this is a scientific approach. So Turner was particularly interested in ritual performance. He believed that social cohesion was not static but needed to be maintained and renewed, and that this done through ritual symbols. Think about any of the religious practices, festivals, and rituals that you see every year. Rituals were also mechanisms which allowed communities to adjust to changing social and environmental conditions because things are dynamic, not static. For Turner, then, ritual symbols were not merely things to be used and manipulated, but had their own effectivity, a factor in social action, a positive force in an activity field. While symbols could have abstract general properties, their meanings did not exist outside of cultural context and, crucially, a field of action. In these, he differed from both structural and psychoanalytical approaches, as well as from approaches like Douglas's, where the focus was on abstracting universal meanings from specific context. Okay, while symbols could have abstract general properties, their meanings did not exist outside of a cultural context and, crucially, a field of action. So there needs to be an action inside here. And Turner's emphasis on temporality, events and actions, performance, change, and adaptation also set him apart from the static, synchronic approaches of structuralism and psychoanalysis. He was associated with Marx Gluckman's Manchester School of Anthropology, who, despite being structural functionalists, also paid attention to structural conflict and change, and were also more attuned to questions of social justice, power, and resistance. So here one of the key feature is focusing on the temporality, the situationality. This part you should be also focusing on. In his influential 1967 publication The Forest of Symbols: Aspects of Northern Ritual, Turner discussed his interpretive methodology and the structure and properties of symbols with reference to several ritual performances of the Northern people, leaving it what is today Zambia, Africa. Turner described ritual as prescribed formal behavior that made reference to beliefs in mystical beings or powers. Within a ritual performance, the symbol is the smallest unit which still retains the specific properties of ritual behavior. In the field, he differentiated between three classes of data from which properties of symbols could be derived: external form and observable characteristics, interpretations offered by local specialists and by laymen, significant context largely worked out by the anthropologists. Turner believed that observational 1 and 2 and interpretive data should be kept separate because, as we shall see, they might paint conflicting pictures of symbolic meaning. We will focus on his analysis of a northern female puberty ritual, rite of passage, the Na Kang. Ah. So that is it for today. Take care. See you soon. Thank you.